Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Infamous Sports Talk, episode 3 on this fine Monday night slash morning of Tuesday. We got a lot of sports to talk about. We got NBA, some MMA, some boxing, and stuff of that sort. I'm joined yet again by my co-host of this evening, Kyle. How are you doing today, sir?
Yeah, it's a glorious day in the neighborhood. Shout out
Mm,
to my guy, Mr. Rogers.
I'm
Yeah, I
here
mean,
too,
we're
and
gonna
I'm
get
not
some
alone
good
for that.
we're gonna get some good sports in here. I think, so a good weekend, especially for combat sports.
Yeah, that's what I'm praying for, but we'll kick it off in the association. We'll go back to Mother's Day games. We had the morning game, which was the Suns versus the Mavericks. We'll hop in with the Suns box score. Take a look at it. Devin Booker gets 35 points, some pretty good shooting. The big story of this game was Chris Paul pretty much being invisible. Six fouls, fouled out of this game. Not even like early. It was pretty like wasn't it early in the fourth quarter? I mean, he only played 23 minutes, only got 5 points. It's
Yeah,
pretty much the big story in this box score, right?
not a good look for Chris Paul. Not a great game. Definitely one you want to bounce back from. You definitely don't want to see him only be able to play 23 minutes in a playoff game.
Yeah, I mean he's had really good games in these playoffs where he went 14 for 14 in games kind of like this. There was another game that last series against the Pelicans. I think he only had 4 points, but yeah, if they're gonna, he has to be dropping, his usual 15 to 20 and 5 points. Isn't gonna
He,
win you
he
many basketball
just
games,
he just has to play because like it's not even really about his points. It's just about what he brings to the team. They
yeah.
just need him on the court.
Especially not getting fouled out. I mean that's just not good, not good at all. But we'll move on swiftly and quickly to the Mavericks, who won this series and tied it up. Uh, I mean, pretty routine stuff. Besides, I guess for Finney Smith having 8 3 pointers. I don't know. It's a bit fucking wild. Um, Luka went 1 for 10 from three this game, 26 points. Bronson picked it up from his struggling games he's had this series. He has 18. Uh, that's about it. I mean, Kleber came off the bench, played good. Bertans hit four threes. What do you see from this Dallas line here?
You know what I see?
Mm-hmm.
Hand me my binoculars.
1 sec. All right, here you go, right there. You might have to adjust them.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah.
I'm looking up.
Okay.
I'm looking up. I
What do you
see
see up
a I
there?
see a peak. Is
Okay.
that Dorian Finney-Smith's head? I think
Okay.
that's Dorian
Yes, I see
Finney-Smith.
it. Right there.
I see the man, the
Yep.
myth, the legend,
I see it.
Dorian
I
Finney-Smith. I
do
mean,
see
that guy
that.
was a flamethrower
Yep.
Sunday. I mean, let me
Yep.
tell you, this guy was horking these shots up like he was
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Curry, like he was
Yes.
Damian Lillard. He was a
Yes.
possessed man out there.
Man possessed. He was looking like Draymond Game 7 right there.
He was looking like Clay Game 6. I mean,
Ooh,
it was
okay.
dangerous.
Yes.
And then other than that, Brunson was at the game.
Mm-hmm.
Luca watched Dorian Finney-Smith play today,
Yep.
or well, Sunday.
Right.
And
Did
Spencer
what he's trying.
Dinwiddie was Spencer Dinwiddie.
Yeah, he should. But yeah.
One thing about that game too is
Okay.
besides Dorian Finney-Smith being the best player on the team,
Mm-hmm.
they
Pretty
not
much.
only did they just have like some crazy three-point shooting stats, just like Dorian Finney-Smith and just like on the game, 20 for 44. But
Right.
like at the beginning of that game, they started off so on fire from three. It was kind of scary.
Yeah, I saw that. They were like 12 for 16 at one point, and then they slowed down a little bit
It
and picked it
was
back
it
up.
was something nuts.
Yeah, they didn't miss, and the Suns some like fought back a little bit, and then the fourth quarter kind of blew them back out and won game four, and now top the series going back to Phoenix. Right? Am I losing? Yeah, back to Phoenix, and we'll see where all this series adjusts from there. But Dorian Finney-Smith dropping 8 threes. They're gonna win a lot of games doing that.
Yeah, I
Absolute
think
sniper.
we should stick with this for a second. What's our game five prediction here?
Um, I had the Suns in six, so just for that reason, I'm sticking Suns. But I could see the Mavericks pulling something out. But I'll take the Suns at home.
Yeah, I'm also gonna be taking the Suns. I think that they're gonna bounce back. I don't think the Mavericks are gonna be able to shoot this hot again
Yeah, I think it's a must
because
win.
really, I mean, they had to shoot pretty hot and dandy to pull that one out. I mean, 20 for 44 from three is pretty nuts. Chris Paul had a bad game, fouled out. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they didn't get great games from Luka Brunson or really anyone else besides Dorian Finney-Smith. I think I like the Suns team, and I think
Yeah.
they'll bounce back. take Game 5 at home.
Agreed. I could see it going seven at this point, but we'll see
It
how
could
it
be an
goes.
all home game series.
Yeah,
Everyone wins at home. I could see that.
yeah, I could see that too. But we'll move on. Heat Sixers nightcap. Embiid's back. He's got the black mask. It's getting spooky. Jimmy Butler drops 40 points for the loss. Goes 13 for 20 on really efficient shooting. Big game out of him. And besides Bam Adebayo, no one else really does shit. They're still not playing Duncan Robinson, the $90 million man. He hasn't played a lick of basketball this series, really. Hero wasn't great off the bench. Neither was Oladipo. Well, Oladipo was alright. I mean,
All
1 for 5 from
Depot
3,
was
8 threes,
solid.
8 free throws.
Yeah, the free throws made up for it, made his efficiency pretty good.
Yeah, but I mean, other than Butler and Adebayo, not a whole lot to talk about, really. Lowry was there, off an injury, coming back. Only got
Yeah,
6 points.
basically this game, this box score just writes the story of get Jimmy Butler some goddamn help over there, some gosh dang help.
And they're playing lights out these playoffs. And it wasn't even the big story of this game because if we go ahead and take it just a big quick jump and look and peek to the other side, the beard was back. He closed this game out, hit a couple threes, got to the line, making floaters. Pretty much ended this game when it got
Ooh,
close. So
it's getting spooky.
it's getting spooky. And then Embiid's back. They've won both games at Philly with Embiid. So I don't know. I think the series took a turn when he came back, and I feeling a little bit more confident about my Sixers pick. I was down bad when I thought he wasn't going to play at all, but he's back, and I believe again. They've made me a believer. So we'll see what
You know
happens in
what
Game Five.
they haven't made me
A believer.
a believer.
Okay.
Give me the Heat in 7.
Hmm. Yeah. No, I could see it, but I put my trust in the player with the mask. Historically, players of mask, you automatically go up to like a 90 in all attributes. So taking that into consideration, and seeing as Harden is back, it's been proven. Um, I like the Heat and Tobias Harris. Or wait, I don't like the Heat. I like the Sixers. Fuck the Heat.
I like the Heat.
Fuck you for liking the Heat. Sorry,
Fuck,
that's on me.
fuck you. And
But
your mask fallacy, I believe that's
hmm
what I would call it, a fake truth, whatever, is not
okay, that's a good
true.
word.
Hence, fake truth. Because
What?
I've watched the Blazers and we had a lot of masks last year, and it didn't help anybody.
Who are we referring
Hey, I
to?
believe Zeller had a mask, didn't
Okay,
help him. Covington
okay,
had a mask, didn't help him. I
okay.
believe Norman
Well,
Powell even had a mask, didn't help
well,
him. So you're
well.
just
That's why you trade all those
spewing
players.
false narratives and false rumors and really
Well,
just
the thing is that they have the black mask. Remember Black Mask LeBron?
I thought Black Masks were banned, to be honest. I don't even know how
Well,
Embiid could have got his hands on one.
well, you must be mistaken because Embiid,
I know Covington did wear one, I believe, for a game. He had like a carbon fiber one or
you got to
something,
earn the
I
Black Mask.
believe. But then I think the league said, "Yeah, that's not going to fly, pal. You're going to have to go to clear.
Well, he hasn't earned it.
You haven't
Embiid
earned
earned
it,
it.
and Joel Embiid hasn't earned it.
Well, apparently he has. My MVP is wearing the Black Mask.
My MVP. It just
What?
move on.
All right, fine. Sixers win Game 4. On to the Heat we go. Or Heat at home. That's what I meant to say. We'll see how it goes. I believe though. I have restored faith. Embiid's back. I believe. I don't believe in the Celtics nearly as much. They win. Did they win this game? That's a bad look.
What? What? The Sunday or the
This is the one
Mother's
where
Day game?
they didn't get the tip, right? Where it was like the ball was
You really
bouncing
throw
around.
me at
Now I gotta
what?
take a look. Yeah, no, the Celtics did win this game. This game happened last night.
Yeah, yes, or
Holy
yeah,
shit. I was taking a blast the past. I was in Saturday right there.
yeah,
That's
Al
on me.
Horford game.
This is the Al Horford game. How could I forget the Al Horford game? So the Al Horford and the rest of the Celtics win this game. I mean, Al Horford got bullied by Giannis, then he stared down Al Horford, and Al Horford's like, "All right, bet." and they proceeded to drop 30 points on 11 for 14 shooting, five threes, and then even a dunk on Giannis. I mean, I haven't seen Al Horford get up like that in forever, and he's like 36 years old with them big fat fucking ears. So I don't know. What do you think about Al Horford dropping 30 on Giannis's dome?
Sorry, I know I said and then came in and said that was the Al Horford game, like right
Mm-hmm.
there, but I just got done apologizing to Jokic for you like saying your MVP Joel
Oh,
Embiid.
okay.
I didn't want anyone like I was apologizing.
Mm,
Um,
that's fine.
but yeah, Horford, yeah, no, he on that same, when I pulled out my binoculars, let me pull them out one more
Here,
time.
yeah.
There's
Might have
Dorian
readjust.
Finney-Smith right
Yeah,
there.
I see him.
Let me look a little to the right. Oh yeah,
Okay,
there's Al
yep.
Horford.
Okay,
There's Big
yep.
Al.
I see him.
Yeah, no,
No,
that's a Big Al. Not Al Jefferson either. Not Big Al Jefferson. We're talking about Big Al Horford.
right. An absolute killer.
Yeah, an absolute killer.
I mean, what can't you say about the man? Plus 20,
You know what you can't say about the
30
man? That
points.
he lost. That he lost on this fine Monday evening
Mm-hmm.
or afternoon or
Right.
evening,
I
or in
think
the
it
morning.
was pretty late night.
No, it
I'm
was
going
an
to say.
afternoon. It was like a 4 p.m. or something or
Well, it depends
earlier.
where you live now, because
No, but like
we're
he
getting
didn't. It doesn't
technical.
matter. It doesn't matter what when in the day you say it because he didn't lose. He didn't lose at
Of
7
course
p.m. He
not.
didn't lose at 6 a.m. He
Five,
was a winner
3,
today.
and that's what he is. You know who wasn't a winner today?
Who's that?
Giannis. Um,
Oh, you dirty dog.
he gets 34 points. I mean, he's shooting the lick out of the ball. But it wasn't really his fault. I mean, 18 rebounds. You know whose fault it is though, Kyle?
Who would that
Do
be?
you see that? Take a look. Let's just take a scroll down this box score. You see Brooke Lopez, right? You see him right there. Had a pretty good
Yeah,
game
hold
for his
on.
standards.
There's actually there's a canyon below my mountains here,
Okay, you
and
take a look down there.
I'm looking down there.
You see Brooke.
I'm Justin.
Okay,
Oh yeah,
take a.
there's a big yeah, that's Brooke.
You
That's
see.
definitely
Okay,
Brooke.
yep. You see, he got 17 points. You know, a decent game. Now, if you just a little to the left, right there, you see to the left.
Yeah.
Now that's Drew Holiday. And
Yeah, no,
now,
that is Drew Holiday.
I've been saying this. If the Bucks want to win this series, you need Drew Holiday to be the second star without Chris Middleton. And what was he today, Kyle? What was he today?
Oh, get home. So I think I just saw some rocks fall onto him.
Yeah,
Oh boy. Yeah, no, he was
he hit rock bottom.
there's the second star and then there's
Dog
then
shit.
there's I don't
Five
even
for
I was gonna
22.
say one of the bottom two players' names, but it's a little blurry and I have no idea what that says, that V name.
Um,
That's
El
who he was today.
Vidozo.
They would have been better off with that guy, Vidozo.
I don't blame you.
Visit Vidoza. I know like every NBA player and I have no idea who that is.
No, neither do I. I have
Just
no idea.
no idea.
It has like a cool
He
name
was
though,
Javon Carter today, without the defense.
and
No,
the
I mean
cool
he
hair.
Drew
Doesn't have
Holiday,
hair.
he has defense, but he
Didn't have a touch for the basketball, that's for sure. Yeah, very very bad game. I mean, he had 9 assists, 3 steals, so he was doing some playmaking, getting some steals, playing some defense. But holy shit, could he not shoot? They need him to be a little bit more consistent in 5 for 22 if they're gonna win this series. This was a big game. They were up in for a majority of it. If they closed out, go up 3-1, they probably win the series. And they just completely collapsed by Al Horford's Celtics. So
it was a good game. It
it
was a
was a
good
good game.
watch.
It was a good game, and it went from looking like it's gonna go to 3-1 to being tied up, going to Boston. So we'll see what happens in Games 5. But if Al Horford dropping 30 on your dome and dunking on you, you're gonna have a
What's your
rough time.
what's your game five prediction? We're going
Shit. I'm taking the Celtics.
back to the Boston Garden.
I'm
Back
taking
to
the
the
Celtics.
Garden.
I think the Celtics close out in 6. Like, I mean,
You
it
think
could
this is a
definitely go
big
7.
momentum shift here in the series?
I think this Bucks thought they were gonna win this game. I mean, they were up by 10 late, and down that went, and the care came Al, and down went the Bucks. I think that was a big like shot in the chest game, and I think they're gonna lose a lot of
Actually,
momentum and lose the next two.
I got a fun little intermission game here. We don't have a
Okay.
slide for this, but
I want to
over the
room for it.
last 15 years,
Okay.
there's five to the what do you think the top five teams in playoff wins are? I'll give you
Okay.
well, the one
Here we
team
go.
just hit 100, just hit their 100th playoff win in the last
Okay.
15 years.
Top five in playoff wins.
In the last 15
All
years,
right.
yep.
Okay. Give me the Warriors.
Yep, that's number two with 98
Okay.
wins.
Give me this. Give me the Spurs.
Yep, number three with 94 wins.
Who the fuck am I missing at number one? Um. Give me the Celtics.
Number one with 100
Okay.
wins. A shocker.
Holy. Okay. Yeah, I guess they've always been all right. Now I'm missing the bottom two teams. Ooh, boy.
Think of a bad man. A bad man.
Bad man.
Just a really bad man.
A
A
bad
man
man.
with the plan. A man
A man
that
with the point.
a man that DeMar DeRozan would shrivel in fear if he saw him.
Oh, well, okay. The Cavs. I mean, that was LeBronto. I mean, that. There you go. The last one, is
The,
it like a sneaky one that you wouldn't think of, or is it
think of a man.
a
Think
man?
of a man with a
Think of a man.
plan.
Man with a plan.
A man that
Man
could
with a
make a
plan.
that could make
Make
a spider
a
crawl
spider
down
crawl.
your back, and you would hate that. You
I
specifically
would
don't like
die.
spiders. A man that would wear a dirty black mask, just a scary black mask. A man
I mean, is this
a
LeBron
man
again,
that
or
would
like the
have
Heat?
a raptor next to him. Yeah, no, we're talking about the Miami Heat. Yeah,
Okay.
they had 91 playoff wins, and the Cavs had 90.
Oh, nice. That was a fun
Yeah.
game. I
Yeah, no,
enjoyed it.
I thought it was interesting to see Boston be number one on that list. That kind of threw me for a loop.
Yeah,
Makes
because they had the
sense, but
Kevin
it was
Garnett team, and then they
interesting.
had like the Eastern Conference run where they got beat by LeBron without Kyrie. So
Yep.
they've been around the block, but
They've been around the block with some sauce.
indeed. We'll move on though to the last game that happened last night. The Grizzlies and the Warriors with no John Morant. This game started out as a shooting just massacre where no one could make a shot. It was like 41 to 39 in the first half. Picked up in the second half a little bit, but the Grizzlies just couldn't close it out. And they didn't have Jaw. They still played this game really competitively. Jaren Jackson had to be like the main player really for this team, kind of in a way. You'd think he gets 21 points. Did make a three. Dylan Brooks had a shocking game, it appears, with only 12 points on 5 for 19 shooting. Uh, Tyus Jones, 19. Yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts on this box score? Kyle Anderson played good.
Yeah, I mean, no one really played particularly good. Kyle Anderson played good. Tyus Jones did what he had to out there. Dylan Brooks is one of those players where he's probably going to either go 5 for 19 or he's going to go 14 for 19. He's kind of
Mm-hmm.
he's a streaky player. He's one of their dogs. Him and Desmond Bain, they're dogs for them. But my instant thing that pops to me is Desmond Bain needs to give me more if I want to win this playoff game. And my
Agreed.
second thought that pops is if they had John Morant, they win this game.
Um, yeah, I could see both those things. I mean, Desmond Bain only getting 8 points, and only he didn't really put up a whole lot of shots either. To be honest, he was being like a play. He had 6 assists. I don't know. I don't know. He was.
And
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
And the reason that I say John Morant they won this game is just they needed someone to close tonight. They just didn't have it. They didn't have any ice really
Yeah.
tonight, and John Morant could be that guy for them. Like Tyus Jones didn't play bad at all. He played very solid for them, but you just are better off with John Morant, especially down the stretch of the game. One thing interesting about it is though, with John Morant on the floor, the Grizzlies are actually a decently worse defensive team based on the metrics
Mm.
than without John Morant, but I still think they get it done.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, not having your star player is gonna hurt any team. But I do think they would probably close it out, seeing as how bad the Warriors were like struggling with shooting this game. So we'll take a look here. Jordan Poole didn't make a three. Steph Curry was shooting threes. He made four for 14. Clay didn't make a three. Wiggins 1 for 5. So they struggled pretty bad. 24% from three. They still won the game, closing out the end. Draymond gets a block on a Jaren Jackson three to tie it. What do you see out of the Warriors here?
Yeah, just not a pretty box score, definitely. Um, Saw a lot of Warriors fans complaining about Klay Thompson this game too. Uh,
Yeah, I didn't have a pretty game.
Andrew Wiggins also missed a three so bad in the fourth quarter. It hit like the
Oof.
shot it like straight on. Like it was like at the top of the key, like Cash Nasty-esque top of
The
the
Cavs
key.
nasty shot. Okay.
And it just was like off the bottom right backboard. It was just not a good look. But yeah, no, not a pretty game from the Warriors.
Yeah.
Just yeah, Dre look at Draymond, man, just goes out there and he does the dirty work. Gives you two shots, gets your 5 assists, your 11 boards, throws a few bows probably,
Right.
maybe a few kicks a little too high.
What you
Get some
expect
grit
from
and
Draymond?
grind in there,
Yeah.
some good defense. I don't know about that Jaren Jackson shot at the end of the game to try to go for the tie. That was a interesting shot selection from Jaren Jackson, and I kind of looked like I didn't really get to see the replay of it too much, but it almost looked like Draymond Green fouled him on it. But yeah, that
Yeah, it
was
was a
also a
chance.
fun game to watch. It just kind of hurt watching the Grizzlies down the stretch.
Yeah, didn't really have anyone to close, and the Warriors made their free throws, played clutch defense, and ended up winning the game and going up 3-1 in the series. So, do you think they close it out next game, or do you think this goes farther to Game 6 or even Game 7?
I think the Grizzlies got at least one more in them. I think that they're gonna come out and the dog's gonna come out of them. They got some
Okay.
players that seem like a team that just that wouldn't go down easy. So I think they maybe can squeeze another one out.
Have they talked about
Although
Ja missing next game?
this was a bad Warriors game. The Warriors still pulled it. But
Yeah.
I don't know when if Ja's supposed to be back or not, to be honest. I'm gonna
Yeah.
look into that while we're sitting here.
Yeah, because they didn't really announce the injury, so no one really has a timetable, but they just announced that like he wasn't gonna
Um,
play today, and they didn't really bring
just
up anything
says
else.
out due to injury, or he just says he's out for game 4, so it's probably gonna be a game time decision.
Interesting. Well, if he doesn't play this series, I think is going to be over in 5. But if he does play, I could see him pulling it out. But yet again, I'll stick to my prediction of saying this series end in 5, and I'll take the Warriors to close it out. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
Um,
and I'll adjust mine to say if Ja doesn't play him, I think the Warriors take it.
all right, all right. We're all covered for NBA recently. We'll go to the last couple bits of NBA news. We had a couple awards get announced that we'll talk about for a minute. We have the Coach of the Year, Monty Williams. Um, Carried the Suns to the number one record in the league, right? I don't think a team in the East had a better one. Definitely not.
Yeah, no, they had the best record this year.
Yeah, this is his first second time winning it. Did he win it last year? I don't
Well,
remember
you
that.
just threw me under the bus there. I don't know. I can't remember who won it, if I'm being
I
honest
think
with
he
you. Who did
did.
win it?
I think he did. I could be mistaken, but I
I
think he did
it,
win it back to back here.
it makes sense because they were really good last year. I mean, I would assume.
Yeah, I would say he did, but he's turned the Suns around really. I mean, they weren't really shit before they got him or Chris Paul. They were a lottery team every year, and then they just turned it around massively one year. Beat the Lakers, went on that run to the finals, and now they're looking like they're about to go another run this playoffs. So I believe he deserves it. I mean, I don't know what the other candidates were for the award, but obviously nothing wrong with Monty winning here.
Yeah, I don't have any issue with it.
Yeah, that's our thoughts
Suns
on Coach
best
of the
record
Year.
in the league, so
Yeah,
yeah, why
nothing really
not?
wrong with it. Back to the big one, I'd say. The one that everyone clamors for. We got a back-to-back MVP, Nikola Jokic. Um, what did he get? 27, 13, and 8. I think his stat line was this year. So obviously deserving. I would have gave it to MB just based off. I think he should have won it last year if he didn't get injured. And this year, I mean, he still had a really good year. He had the most points in the league. First time a center's done that in like 20 years or something, I believe. But I don't know. Jokic, I don't have a problem with. I just would have gave it to Embiid personally, but yeah.
Uh, yeah, personally, I definitely would have gave it to Jokic. I believe in advanced stats, like he had one of the craziest seasons of all time. I think he finished like first in like a couple, and like just like he had just all time crazy advanced stats. Really good season. Potentially one of the best passers in the league, if not the best passer. Really good scorer. He's just more efficient than Embiid and just does a little more offensively. He's still a serviceable, solid defender, not bad by any means. And he meant so much to his team. It was kind of crazy. So that's why I personally think Jokic deserved to go back to back.
Yeah. I don't have a problem.
Not that you
Um,
don't think he didn't deserve to go back to back. You just maybe thought that Joel deserved it a little more, but I think that Jokic is definitely my MVP.
yeah, I mean, I think the only reason he won last year is because Embiid got injured. I mean, I guess you could dispute that, but I just think Embiid was having the best year in the league last year. He got injured, fell out of the race, and Jokic got it. But I'd say Jokic is more deserving this year than last year. I don't know if it's a hot take or not, but I don't know. I mean, I don't have a problem with it, but
Yeah, I think Jokic had a better year, although I think he could have definitely won it last year too. I have no problem with him winning it last year, and definitely no problem with him winning it this year.
he's a great center in the league. I mean, there's great number twos all around the world. Scottie Pippen number two to Jordan. I mean, hey, listen, that's that's great. Shaq to Kobe. I mean, him being my number two center, that's high praise. I mean, there's Cat
I
right
mean,
there. He's a
we'll
dog.
say I will say that Jokic did have the best box plus minus in NBA history this year. The
That's
best
great.
Raptor in NBA history and fourth best LeBron. And I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he was meaningful to say the least.
Right. He obviously didn't have his whole team around him, so can't put a lot of
Yeah,
blame on
and
him
he
not, but he's
also
great.
in the wild wild west got his team to where they were the sixth seed, which was only like 3 games behind. Was it Embiid? Yeah. I believe he's 3 games behind the Sixers, and he did that without his second and third best player on his team. I mean, and not that like I'm a plus minus fan, but out of all the MVP candidates, and plus minus doesn't matter that much, but I mean, Jokic did have the highest plus minus, which, once again doesn't mean a lot, but it's just another thing.
Yeah. I mean, Embiid's a great player. You know, he's a great player. He's a great passer. Great scorer. He always is a dog. He gets the scratches on his arms. He's always bleeding. He's down there in the paint fighting.
He's lost a
Um,
tooth or two down there.
yeah, I just need to see some more playoff success and not have Jamal Murray carrying him in the playoffs for me to think he's number one center.
Woo!
That's just my thought.
Well, on that note,
Uh,
before everyone's pissed, I think we take a swoopty doopty to the UFC here.
all right, let's shall. We'll just go over the main card. Let's prelims. Gets a little shaky down there, and this screen is bright as shit. But the first fight on the main card: Randy Brown, Chaos Williams. Um,
Randy.
I mean, we didn't give predictions for this card, but we both picked Randy in our own heads, I believe. So
Yeah, we have our own predictions things uh
yeah,
that we do with each other, and we both picked Randy Brown. I agree with the decision. I thought Randy Brown won the fight.
same.
It was a good close fight. I think Randy Brown's just the more skilled guy, and I think Randy Brown has a lot of potential. Honestly, yeah, he's really good. I like him.
Yeah, I picked Randy Brown too. He's just a lot bigger. I think he was also more skilled than Chaos. Chaos probably has more power, like knockout power.
A
He
lot
did
bigger.
stun,
Chaos
like
Williams looks like an absolute
well
tank out
taller.
there.
I mean, Randy Brown's like
Yeah, no, he has crazy limbs.
yeah,
Yeah.
his legs are Kevin Durant esque, but yeah, I mean he didn't have the power advantage. He did knock. I think. Didn't he knock down Randy Brown once? I think.
Yeah, he did knock him down. He didn't look super hurt though. It was like a weird knockdown. It was like kind of like he lost balance for a sec, but he was good.
Yeah, but a good decision, a good fight to start off the main card, which got bumped up from the prelims because Cowboy got food poisoning that night before and was able to compete. But I was not mad that this made the main card. It was a pretty good
Yeah,
fight.
Dana said it was apparently super bad food poisoning. Like it was like he couldn't like do anything. He was throwing up all over the place. Just not good.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
So yeah, I think they we're getting that rescheduled for one of the upcoming cards. I know that's probably a fight you cannot wait for.
Yeah, two old men going out in their last little hoorah here. We'll see how that goes. I mean, yeah. Um, from that fight, that was pretty
Speaking
exciting
of two old
to
men,
absolute dog shit. Shogun and OSP. They went out there. They stalked around. They threw a couple punches now and then. Um, I mean, it was just a very uneventful two old guys that aren't really applying pressure, just playing it safe fight.
you would have thought that was the most boring fight in the card, but
Oh,
we'll get into that later on.
no,
We'll
it
get into
wasn't.
that one later on.
No, it
This
wasn't.
fight was terrible though.
Yes.
This fight
No.
was awful.
It
It was
was.
bad.
Shogun was just stalking him in the OSP with like a counter. Like, oh, it just like neither of them really looked like they wanted to win. They just didn't want to lose. They just like didn't want to like lose and get knocked out. And it's like they're just collecting their paychecks till they get released. I mean, no one looked like they wanted to get the win. They just were content with playing to the scorecards, which were pretty dog shit. I mean, 27-30. I think someone did for OSP. I mean, I don't think. I mean, it doesn't matter who won this fight, but thinking OSP won every single one of them rounds was just a little bit mind blowing. But I mean, who cares? It was nothing to really score off. It was a pretty bad fight. But yeah,
No, wait. Am I losing my? No, that's not the. Oh, that's Shogun winning all the rounds.
that would be OSP.
That would be OS. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
good.
no, you're
Everything's
good. It's okay.
okay. I still
It
had the
happens.
binoculars on. I was looking deep in the valley. I
Mm-hmm.
saw OSP and Shogun out there
Right.
still fighting down in
I
my
wish. My God.
they
Run it
were still
back.
fighting.
Number
It looked
3.
pretty crazy. They
Yeah.
were down there in the cannon.
Basically, OSP got separated and started winning the fight once he started landing these like teep kicks to the body and was hurting him a little bit and made his stomach all red. Ended up getting the decision split. But the faster move on from this fight, the better. Um,
Yeah. Oh well, we both had OSP too. So
yeah, I had
we
Shogun,
would.
but uh,
Oh,
yeah,
you had Shogun? Ah,
yeah, I'm sorry. I picked the
ah,
wrong geezer. I mean, it's on
ah.
me. On to a way more entertaining and exciting and just
An insane fight.
sane knockout everything. Chandler and Ferguson. We both picked Chandler. Ferguson looked good in the first round, got a knockdown. Looked like he might be getting back to his old ways. And then Chandler comes out in the second round and lands an absolute punt to the chin and knocks Tony out flat for like a good 5 minutes.
You could say, a punter of the decade type of punt, like a Pat
Yeah.
Beck McAfee type of punt. I
Oh,
mean
definitely.
that was such a weird like he really punted his head. I mean it was something
I mean, it was just out of nowhere. Like I wasn't even. He just threw it up there and bang, there he goes, falling over. I mean,
crazy knockout.
yeah. Heard Chandler talk about him that wasn't even like meant. He was just like a feeling of trying to feel him off that kick, and it ended up just ending the fight. So it's not really what he was going for. It was the finish right there, but he ended up getting it. So you gotta love when that happens. I'm sure when you're fighting.
Yeah, definitely. It was also it kind of sucked too because Tony Ferguson almost looked like he was kind of back at the beginning of this fight. He had a really good first round. He
Yeah,
was
won the
fighting
first
kind of
round
like
probably.
himself. Yeah, no, I would definitely say he won the first round. He looked like himself, and then he came out the second round and eventually got punted,
It's
which
unfortunate.
is just rough. Hopefully, he can come back and fight like he was in the first round and maybe not get punted by his next opponent.
They
Or
say
maybe
stop
get
getting
punted again
dogs.
because that was an electric knockout. So
Yeah,
either way,
I would like Tony to fight someone that's below him in rankings or someone who's not like a dog on the come up or like top 5 ranked. Just give him like
give
an
him a fight that
RDA or something. Like
definitely, but like is a good fight still to watch.
yeah, I just seen him fight these guys who are killers and peaking while he's kind of falling back in his
Well, I
career.
mean, he was having a good fight. It's just like
I
unfortunate.
mean, yeah,
We
it's
want we
just
need to see him get like a fight to get back on track for sure.
who knows when that'll happen, but would love to see it. Michael Chandler gets the big win. called out Connor after it. Called out pretty much everyone after the fight.
What an electric interview too at the after the
Yes,
fight. I mean, that he was yelling, he was calling out, "I want the champ, whoever wins the belt,
and this is
or
step.
to fight for Oliveira for it since he missed weight,
Hmm.
or I want McGregor if I can't get that fight." And that was
Yeah,
just he was just a beautiful mic sequence from him. Just really sold that. He sold that KO to the best of his ability.
yeah. I would like to see him versus Connor. I think that'd be fun. I mean, either him versus the winner of the lightweight title fight wouldn't be bad. He called out Nate Diaz the day after on Twitter, saying he'd fight him at 170 whenever Nate Diaz is fighting, which is like the end of July or beginning of July. I don't remember which one, but wouldn't hate seeing that either. I mean, Nate Diaz have a big advantage, like the reach and length, but I just don't think he has the skill to beat him.
Chandler's just a more skilled fighter. I
Yeah,
would personally, if I was to pick anything, I'd want to see him go fight Connor. That'd probably be the most entertaining fight.
yeah,
I mean, it would be cool to see him fight for the belt, but there's other people that maybe have earned that a little more at the moment.
yeah. We'll see how it goes, but we're moving on to one of just most boring, lamest, just saddest, uneventful, unwatchable, disgusting, disgraceful fights that have ever taken place with a title on the line is Thug Rose. I'm not, no. She doesn't deserve
No,
that nickname.
lost the thug,
Nama Yunus
lost the thug. Yep.
and Esparza. They land the combined 68 strikes in 5 full rounds. Um, they didn't do anything, and thank the Lord the Canelo fight was on at the same time this is on, so I didn't have to watch most of this shit. But it just, and then Rose said that why does every fight have to be her knocking someone out, or she always does that? Why couldn't she play this one smart? I
Showed
mean,
off her defense.
yeah, showed off that she had no plan besides playing defense and not aggressing the fight and losing. I mean, if that was your game plan and you lost, well, I mean, holy shit, way to go! I guess you got me fooled. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this pile of
Well,
shit?
if I still had my binoculars out, I'd be looking down in that cannon and I'd see them still circling the octagon right next to our pals OSP and the Shogun.
Yeah, I don't even want to see a rematch. I mean, they're 1-1 or no,
And
Esparza's
they
2-0
wouldn't
now,
hold on.
right?
They wouldn't be right next to Shogun and OSP. There's like levels to this cannon that I'm looking down at.
Right.
They'd be at the deepest, darkest level.
And that's a good thing because no one wants to see this ever again. Thug Rose didn't. It's not like she lost. It was a split decision, but it wasn't. It was just like a who gives a fuck split because it's either way a win. It's not like it mattered. No one tried. No one won this fight. It just they had to. Someone had to win. So Esparza won. I would don't want to see it again. Rose should get back in line and win one or two fights, get back to the title, and then I would like to see maybe Esparza and Ioana or whoever wins that Wei fight.
Yeah.
So
This fight makes me wish even more that they gave the decision to Whaley. I thought Whaley won the fight against Rose, but it was a close fight. If I don't think Whaley would have came out and had this kind of fight against Carlos Esparza.
yeah, and I don't like Rose doesn't have really boring fights in both her fights against Ioana. She knocked her out, and Wei. I mean, they were pretty right fights. I mean, the first one she kicks her in the head with like a minute into the fight, wins that. Second one was like a 5 round grueler, and then this one was just an absolute piece of shit. So
Yeah, we don't need to
I don't know
run
what
this
happened.
back right away. And
No,
Dana it did not sound like
no, yeah,
Dana
this
was
is not gonna run back.
too keen on getting this one ran back anytime soon.
Yeah, you gotta have a reason to run it back if you lose, but there's no reason to run that back. But let's move on. New strawweight champion for how long? We'll find out. Um,
Probably for that fight, and that's about it.
we'll see. Moving on to the main event though, which is between Justin Gaethje and the champion, or was the champion Charles, which is now vacant. Charles misses weight by half a pound, loses this or gets stripped of the strap, and he goes out anyway and wins the fight. And now he's gonna fight for the vacant belt uh, whenever. So, what were your thoughts on this absolute grueler of a fight? He knocks him down. I mean, it was just back and forth. It was a really exciting first 3 minutes. Then he knocked him down, choked him out, won the belt, or didn't win the belt. Won the fight, didn't win the belt.
But
Beltless.
he's the champ in everyone's head.
I mean,
But
he's the champ, but it's just not
it
good.
was it was a really electric fight. It was weird because we had two just super electric fights and two just really terrible fights, like in within the last four, like the final
Last
four
four,
fights of the
yeah.
card. Yeah, and this one was great. This was a
Mhm.
very enjoyable fight. Showed Charles Oliveira he's good crazy. He has so much heart. Just a really great fighter to watch.
Mhm.
He can do it at all every part of the game he has.
I mean, he gets rocked every single fight, and it looks like this is the one he's losing. But then he just comes back and has more heart and determination than the person he's fighting. I mean, he rocked Gaethje like in the first literally 10 seconds, and then he gets rocked himself, gets knocked down. Looks like he's in trouble, gets back up, lands a clean shot on Gaethje, knocks him down. Then transitions that into a rear naked choke, and there's no way he's getting out of that, and is forced to tap. 3 minutes into the fight. I mean, if they just had a whole entire fight, like I said earlier, sometime around. Jesus, I don't even know what I was saying. I said absolute choke job. But, like I was going to say, if they had a full card of just lightweight fights, I think it'd be very, very enjoyable. Like they've said, like ran a tournament, just throw the best 8 guys out there and see who it goes down to. Because I think everyone's pretty close. I mean, Charles obviously emerged from the pack, but you got Islam. I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, that's I was actually going to ask you a question here. I was going to
Okay,
ask
hopefully
you,
I have an answer. I'm
yeah, no,
struggling for words here,
I
so
was gonna ask you, who do you want to see fight? Like, if you're, all right, if you're in the war room right now, you Dana White and all the boys, you got some names on paper and a board. You stick them
okay,
on. You put Charles Oliveira in the
okay,
next lightweight championship fight, and
all right.
you're looking at Dustin Poirier. You're
Mhm.
looking at Islam Makhachev,
Okay.
Beneil Dariush.
Right.
You're looking at your names. You're looking at Chandler.
Okay.
You're looking at Connor. You're
Okay.
just looking at some names here.
All right.
Who are you throwing in next to Oliveira there to fight
Okay.
for the belt?
I'll play a bit of matchmaker here. All right. That's fine. I can do that. So this is what I would do. I would throw Oliveira and Makachev right away. That's the first thing I do for that. Um, I do Gaethje Poirier. I do Chandler McGregor, and I do Dariush. And who the hell was left? Is he the odd man out? Or am I
That
doing
would
names
make him the
wrong?
odd man out if you throw Connor up there with them. So Dariush would have to fight somebody below him, maybe like Fiziev.
Yeah.
Fiziev
Or
on the come up. It could be like maybe I don't know, Dan Hooker's on a losing streak. You don't throw
Dariush.
him. You could throw Gregor
Throw RDA
Gillespie.
at him. I don't know. I mean,
You could throw RDA. You, you
yeah,
don't
there you
want to,
go. I mean,
yeah.
who gives a fuck about that one really? But I mean, that's a fight they could do. But yeah,
You could throw
that's
someone lower in the rankings, climbing up maybe like I don't know, like
yeah, I don't know.
Fiziev,
Yeah, Fizzy. I was
like Gamrot.
there. You go. That's a name. Yeah, I don't
But
know.
yeah, yeah, I like what you're doing there. I think Dana's kind of been teasing. He's been thinking maybe he wants to do Dariush versus Islam, and then the winner maybe fights for the title, or he maybe has a fight, and then they are the number one contender, whoever wins that fight.
Yeah.
If I was doing it, I probably think Dariush has earned himself a shot at Islam. They fight, and whoever wins takes Oliveira, and then maybe throw. I like the Dustin versus Gaethje
Mhm.
or something like that. Maybe Dustin even goes up to Walter and fights like Jorge or something for a fight. Um, yeah, and yeah, Chandler versus Connor, I would like to see. And if Dustin doesn't fight Gaethje has a little bit probably before a fight anyways, but maybe ooh, that would leave Gaethje. There's gonna be an odd man out probably, and I
Yeah.
think Fiziev wouldn't be a bad shout for whoever the odd man out is. I think Fiziev's really good. I like Fiziev.
Yeah, I mean, I do think Dariush deserves a shot at something. I just think he gets mauled by Makachev, so I'm just skipping over that fight. But he has earned himself some sort of big contender fight like that. But I just don't think Makachev is the one for him that he's gonna be able to beat. Sadly, but I don't know. Maybe
Yeah. Now this is jumping ahead of everything here and skipping the line, but
it's fine.
I don't even know if I want to ask this really, but
No, go shoot your
what
shot.
what would you predict in an Oliveira versus Makhachev fight? I mean, that's a tough fight.
I take Makachev. I think he's the new age Khabib. I think he takes. I think. I don't know how Oliveira is in wrestling. I mean, he's obviously a good jiu-jitsu. He's showed some.
Extremely good jiu-jitsu.
He's showed power, obviously, but I think Magachev would take him down, maul him, and I almost think Magachev even could be a better striker than Khabib was. And if that's the case, then we have an absolute demon on our hands. And Oliveira is hot, but he has shown like he doesn't have the strongest chin. So even Makachev could do decent on the ground or on the stand up and then take him down and just wrestle him. I would take Makachev. I think he's going to be a problem for many years.
Y- Yeah, I mean, I think Makhachev may even be considered better at striking than wrestling, which is kind of scary for
Yeah,
everyone. But
so he's
yeah,
a
he's
dog,
basically supposed to be Khabib with better striking and a little less grappling.
which is a
But
scary sight. Very.
I I don't. I mean, taking down Charles Oliveira is a scary thing to do. So I don't know if that. I mean, you are Islam Makhachev with Khabib like in your corner, and that's scary. But Charles Oliveira is not someone you necessarily want to have in your guard.
No. Yeah, he's very dangerous from his back. I mean, he literally
I think it
pulled
would
guard against
be
Gaethje.
it'd be a really fun fight to watch. It would be interesting because even though like Makhachev is just scary and everyone kind of like you kind of think he's gonna just run through the division potentially and kind of do a Khabib thing. I That's still like a fight that really perks my interest.
Yeah, I think we're good at eventually. I mean, if he beats Dariush or they just jump it, I think either way we're going to get that fight. Probably sometime in the winter, late December, November, but only
Yeah,
time will tell. But for UFC
the one
274, okay, continue. Let's hear it.
yeah, no.
Let's hear your
You know,
takes.
sorry for I had to take that there review because I just
No,
this
it's
really
I.
hit my mind
Okay,
right here.
let me
And it
hear it.
was it could kind of suck
Right.
if Islam does get to the if he even if he has a Dariush fight.
Okay.
That's probably one of the more interesting fights you make with him since Dariush is like a good wrestler too. Like he can do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But if he beats Charles Oliveira, there's not a lot of good fights for him to have really because he's just gonna be probably a lot better on the ground than most of the people in this division that are coming for him. Like he's gonna be able to Khabib this division pretty hard. Besides, like Oliveira is like the one guy that could probably go with him on the ground. Maybe Ferguson makes a miraculous comeback. Dariush,
Right.
Dariush is a good wrestler and everything, but I don't. He's like the next best like matchup if we're talking about skill kind of traits.
Mhm.
But Poirier, I mean Poirier's a good. He has good jiu-jitsu, but he's not Charles Oliveira. He's not able to like we saw him versus Khabib.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty.
Wasn't pretty. Justin Gaethje's just not. It's not a good matchup for Gaethje. Not a good matchup for Chandler, for Connor, for a lot of these guys. So it could get kind of unfortunate if he does take that title and can't fight Charles
Yeah, I
again.
think that's how it's gonna go. If I'm being honest, that's how I see this division playing out in the next couple years.
Probably, yeah. If I was a betting man, if I was to bet on the outlook of the division in a few years, yeah, I could. It's probably what I'd bet on.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame you. Do you have any other closing thoughts on this card or UFC and the whole?
Um, no, it was a good but weird. It was really good highs, really good, really bad lows for this card.
Very
The
agreeable.
Brandon Royval fight was pretty fire too. That was a good fight.
It was. Yeah, there was some good prelim fights. Obviously, Oliveira Gaethje was really good. Same with Chandler Ferguson. The opener wasn't a bad fight. Brown and Chaos. The other two fights I don't want to talk about. But yeah, a good card overall. And we'll see what happens
Yeah.
next in the UFC and MMA world. But that wasn't the only big MMA boxing sport thing that happened
Combat
that day.
sports.
Combat sport. It's an easier way to put it. Um, the greatest boxer on planet Earth currently living, probably. Canelo goes up to 176, I think it is, and just gets whopped by a guy way bigger, taller, and it looked like even more skilled at points. I mean, Canelo was gassed a majority of these closing rounds. Didn't really look like himself. Usually, Canelo will lose the first couple rounds, then gain steam and gain confidence and like walk him down as the rounds continue to go on. Didn't happen this fight. The rounds got later and he got worse, and it just he never really looked like he was gonna win this fight. If I'm being honest, the judges. We'll just take a look at the judges' scorecards and see what they had.
Woo!
I they had a
Not a good look.
115, a 113 on all of them. I I don't know. I mean, he was gonna fight him again anyways, probably if he wants to. He already said he wants his rematch, but I don't know why. I don't know if they were just trying to make it look closer than it was. But he didn't. That it wasn't. It was like 117 to like no 111. I just yeah
That's what the guy on the guy on the broadcast had. He had his scorecard as 117 to 111.
yeah. I don't think it was as close as they thought it was. But what are your thoughts on the fight? As we were
You gotta wonder if the Mexican cartel was actually sitting behind the
yeah
judges.
yeah
Um, I let me preface this with I'm not a big boxing guy. I haven't watched a lot of boxing fights. I've watched a few, just mostly the biggest fights because I'm more of a UFC guy. But yeah, no, from what I watched I don't really see how you could remotely have even considered Canelo
hmm
had 113. I mean, that's just yeah,
no
not a great look, but at least the right guy won.
yeah.
If he didn't win that fight, that would have been
If there was one or two
that
rounds that
would
were
not have been good.
questionable, I could have seen this flipping,
Yeah,
and they would have been bad.
yeah, from the late rounds, like the later like we started really paying attention like the sixth round or something because it was like, damn, this is looking actually kind of like a really good fight.
hmm
Because you go into a Canelo fight, you're like, oh, he's just gonna probably blow the brakes off him. But
Yeah.
it was looking like a good fight. We started watching. There was like one round that, in my unprofessional opinion, Canelo probably won.
Was
Maybe didn't win though. It was like a close round, but I maybe gave it to Canelo, and I think it was the 10th round.
yeah.
I don't even know if any of the judges gave it to Canelo. I can't really read
No,
the.
wait. Yeah, that is hard to read. I don't know.
It's kind of small for us, but yeah, yeah, no, just in general, it's crazy that it looks like they gave it to or like gave Canelo a chance. That like they were showing that he was in the fight in their eyes, which just didn't really.
Yeah,
If you watching the fight, it did not look like that at all.
all the
Bivol looked
judges
crazy. He looked really good.
all the judges gave Canelo the first three and then the 10th round. So yeah, they
Okay, so
agreed
yeah,
all in the rounds.
that the 10th round out of the ones we were watching was the one that I was like, okay, yeah, Canelo could have won that round.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, he wants to do the rematch. I don't think he should be fighting this high and weight. I think he's finally met his limit of how high he can get in all these title runs he's trying to go through and divisions he's trying to go through. I think this one might be a little bit too much to ask for. These guys are just bigger. If anything, I'd go back down and fight people below him, which there's bigger fights to be had. There's Earl Spence down there, Crawford, Ugas. I mean, depending on how that division runs out and see if like to fight the champion in that. I like to see him against Crawford. I think he's the best fighter in that division with Earl Spence and people like that. But I don't know. We'll see where Canelo goes from here. If he wants to do the rematch, if he wants to go back down and fight more of his weight. But I don't know. Do you have any thoughts or closing thoughts on the whole Canelo fight situation?
Not a lot. Like I said, not the biggest boxing guy, but it's gonna be interesting to see how Canelo bounces back if he does end up going through with the rematch. May not be the best idea considering how good Bivol looked, but yeah, we'll see how he bounces back. It was entertaining, and it'll be entertaining again if it does happen. So looking forward to it.
We shall see. But with that being said, we come to an end on this lovely broadcast, which is infamous sports talk. Do you have any closing thoughts for the people out there, the many, many people, the thousands and millions?
The the millions, soon to be billions.
Yep.
Um, it was a good sports good sports talk.
Mhm.
Some good things happened. Great combat sports weekend. Just
Right.
like a lot of entertaining things. Two of the worst fights I've seen in a while in the UFC. Maybe one of the worst ever.
Pretty much.
But three really good ones on that same main card. Interestingly,
Yeah.
it's just crazy how much contrast there was in those fights. But yeah, NBA playoffs, nice.
Mhm.
Still trying to watch more hockey. You know, it's happening.
It's
I'm
happening
I'm
for
tuning
sure.
in a little bit.
A lot of goals being scored.
Um, I'm just really hoping my Kraken can, be
Oh,
good next year so I can really get into it.
the boys.
But the boys,
Mhm.
maybe Brandon Tanev could
There we go.
score 100 goals next year.
There's
He
always
was
a
looking
chance.
dirty at the beginning of the year. I looked and it looked like he hasn't scored a goal. I think he's injured ever
Mm.
since I stopped watching pretty much. Yeah, go Kraken, go
Okay.
Blazers, go
Right.
Seahawks,
Okay.
go Yankees. I
Mm.
see go Ducks.
Yep.
I got about six championships coming in this next year, and it's a great day on a beautiful Monday night, Tuesday morning.
Well, I don't know how I could top that without, blowing out a lung. But I mean, my teams are all pretty poverty currently, besides the Niners, so I got that going for me. Mike Brown's our new coach for the Kings. Um,
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about the Mike Brown.
well,
You know,
I mean, it's cool. I mean, the Kings are just fucking poverty. I mean, who cares? I mean, they got to prove something before I care. They could have hired Phil Jackson as their coach. I don't. I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Maybe that would unlock the Aaron Fox and Sabonis. So you put them in a triangle with
Well, yeah, Harrison Barnes
with
maybe.
Harrison Barnes.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a
I think
scary
that's
dream.
where we need to end the show right there. We've clearly
Yeah, we're
gone
talking
off
about the
the
Kings
rails. We're
now.
talking about Phil Jackson and the Kings and a triangle offense of De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis, and Harrison Barnes.
They could be spooky.
So
Yeah.
yeah, no,
I think we ended
yeah,
there though. Infamous Sports Talk episode 3 closed out on a bang, and we'll see you sometime this week, hopefully.
we
So
out of
long.
here.